our first week one Saturday in college football. I cannot wait. We have fantastic games today, including two top 10 matchups. These games continue on Sunday as well as Monday. So we just have a full, beautiful slate of football this weekend. But I am here with Ethan, and we have quite the predicament on our hands here at the noon game. Of course, it is the biggest game of the day, the biggest game of the week, the biggest game probably of the week one in the last 20 something years. We have Texas against reigning national champion Ohio State. But before we get into that, let us know in the comments what game you want us to talk about. If there is a big game that you guys want us to hit on, we'll jump to your comment and attack that game right away. But basically, on here, me and Ethan, this is just for as much for us as it is for you guys. We try to just pick each other's brains, go through these games, see if we agree on bets, see if we want to tell a guy to not take that bet. Basically, just a little 30-minute brain session to try to ease the nerves and get our thoughts all together for college football. But Ethan, welcome. How are you feeling heading into this huge Saturday?
Pumped to be back. Yeah, love the Saturday morning lives, like you said, as much for people who tune in as it is for us, just kind of picking each other's brains. Obviously, college football, just a insane amount of games on Saturdays. So, yeah, looking forward to being back on the Saturday mornings. We'll probably be on almost every Saturday morning throughout the season. So, we've kind of talked about week one. It's tough. You get a lot of, the Oregon against FCS or big Power Four conference teams against FCS or smaller conference teams. So it's just kind of hard to gauge teams without much history. But I didn't get to watch really any of week zero. Was watching high school football on Thursday night, so only caught a few of the late games there. And then caught Michigan State last night and a couple other games out at a bar. So really my first full action of college football going for me today. So just really looking forward to sitting down, watching football, and kind of getting a read on some of these teams.
Yeah, I just looked at our Twitter here, and I still forgot to change the stupid background photo, so it looked like we are talking about MMA. But I guess there's probably MMA going on tonight, so maybe we get some MMA guys in here, or UFC, whatever they call it now these days. But yeah, I started week one, or week zero, made some money. Thursday made some money. Friday made some money. So this is going for 4 days in a row, trying to be profitable. I made the mistake last year. It was definitely the first Saturday last year. I don't know if it was the whole first weekend, but just diving in way too deep. I have about 15 games written down. I'm not going to have 15 bets, but I'm really trying not to even bet anything or think about betting anything outside these 15 games. Out of that 15, I'm trying to narrow it down to maybe 6, 7 bets. I know that's still quite a bit, and I'll probably not include my Michigan bets because I'll probably just throw stupid little bets on that Michigan game because I'm an excited fan. But I'm really trying to be strict about how many open bets I have, especially in these early times of college football where, for example, Texas, Ohio State, if you can give me a real reasoning of why you're picking one team as opposed to just guessing, then you are BSing yourself because no one has any idea what's happening in that game. Sharps have no idea. Public has no idea. It is the most 50-50 game I can ever think of. And that's I think, if you want to start there, do you want to start there?
Yeah, we can.
Don't sound too excited.
Should we end with it?
Okay, we'll end with it. We'll get it for you guys because I am eager to bet this game. I do have 2 bets loaded up that I just have not pressed place yet, but I am eager to talk about that one. But yeah, let's get into we'll say Texas Ohio State for the end, or if we get comments that you guys really want our Texas Ohio State predictions now, we will start talking about that as soon as we can. Okay, Tennessee Syracuse. Let's do that one. Okay.
That works.
Tennessee is number 24. Syracuse unranked. Tennessee is now a 13.5-point favorite. Ooh, you hate those 13.5s. This game, I believe, is at Atlanta. How are you reading? I do like this game actually quite a bit. I'm seeing some big sharp money coming in on one team, and a lot of the trusted bettors that I follow are on this team as well. So I'll probably be having a bet in this game. And I feel pretty confident about it. But where are you going with Tennessee Syracuse?
Yeah, my lean is on Syracuse. I assume that's the side you're seeing the sharp money on. We'll see. I am also seeing some public money on Syracuse as well, though. So I get a little bit nervous when sharp and public are lined up, and uh, I guess the line has moved down. So yeah, I don't know. It's a tough game. Obviously, no Nico Lavalea or whatever his name is at Tennessee. Transferred to UCLA. So I think that's the biggest change here. I think maybe people are down on Tennessee. I think you're down on Tennessee. I'm a little bit down on Tennessee this year. Um, but yeah, I don't have a strong. I'm not going to play this game. I guess my lean would side with the public side with I'm assuming the sharps on Syracuse. Take the 13.5 points. Uh, Maybe give a sprinkle on the money line. Uh, just because if Tennessee is struggling to cover 13.5 points, odds are it's going to be a one-score game and might come down to the last possession. But yeah, I don't have a strong lean, I guess, on Syracuse.
Yeah, I unfortunately this is going to be one of my bets, and it is going to be on that Syracuse team. Basically, I'm just following what I think is a little bit. I'm seeing some money coming in on one of the sites I look. Again, between money differential and money in bets, yeah, there's different information every site you look. But from the one site I'm looking at, Syracuse is the biggest money differential between bets of all the games I do have written down here. So and like 4 or 5 guys I trust on another site are all on Syracuse. So I'm gonna take Syracuse. Last year I was super against buying points, buying half points. This year I just think I'm going to get a little more chalky and just being okay betting the minus 135 bets. I know it's not a super profitable strategy, but football is all about these huge numbers, and 13 and a half, unfortunately, is just not a good football number if you like Syracuse. Obviously, it's beautiful for Tennessee. You can win by 2 touchdowns, you win. But that 13 and a half is definitely a bad number. So I'll probably round that up to 14 and a half. 14, I guess you can go with the push, get a little better odds, but 14 and a half is probably what I'll be going for. Again, that's probably going to be in the minus 130s, so not super pretty, but yeah, I like Syracuse. It will be. I did just put a check mark up out or down there, so I haven't placed anything yet, but I will be placing that as we get off it. If you agreed with that, that was going to be enough for me to push me over the edge there.
Do you have a
Next, go ahead.
quick comment just about the buying points? So I'm kind of in the same boat as you this year, especially early. Like, dude, I took freaking Georgia Tech money line yesterday just because I had a boost. Um, and yeah, I could have had a nice plus money on the -4.5, but I'm glad I didn't because that game easily could have been, if once his face doesn't break the 45-yard run to score, it's probably going to be a field goal game. If Dion uses those timeouts at the end of the game, Colorado very likely could have scored. But yeah, I'm just for week 1, I'm playing it safer, and maybe week 2, week 3, and just kind of see as the season goes. But definitely don't hate the buying up to at least 14 in that Syracuse game, especially week 1 when, yeah, it's just I'd rather play it safe and not dig myself a huge hole like I did last year. That's, I guess, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And talking quickly about two things. First of all, Tennessee. People I do think are obsessed with preseason rankings, and they see that 24 and they fall in love with it. Again, these top 25 means absolutely nothing right now. And second of all, that Georgia Tech game, Haynes King, my guy. I mean, I need to pay my bookie back so I can start betting player props. I'm in Virginia, so I can't bet college player props on sports books. Haynes King's my guy. 3 touchdowns. God, I love him. He got freaking beat up. I don't know if he's going to make it the whole season if they run him like that. But God, I love that guy. Again, cut me off here if there's any other games you want to talk about. Another noon game I do have circled here is Northwestern and Tulane. I know it's not a great Northwestern is going to be the bottom feeder of the Big Ten, but it's a pretty good game, pretty good matchup. I'm seeing Tulane is a 4.5 point favorite now, and I'm seeing a lot of money coming in on Northwestern. So again, I am trying to follow a little bit of the money right now because I do think the beginning of college football, at least so far, has been super sharp. We saw USF win. We saw Cincinnati cover. What did we have last night? I think there was a sharp one last night, but it seems like it's a little sharpy right now. So I'm just going to keep following the money, and I am seeing some trusted guys. And again, the one side I'm looking at money on Northwestern. So Northwestern is going to be most likely a play. But do you have a read on Northwestern at Tulane?
I really don't. I guess my lean would also be the Northwestern side, but
Okay, fine, I'll bet
yeah,
it.
yeah, I don't know. I'm just seeing what you're seeing with money on Tulane, reverse line move on Northwestern. But I don't know. I'm just reading here. This is honestly a game I haven't really looked much into. It looks like Tulane might have multiple quarterback system here,
Oh boy.
which could be hard to prep for if you're Northwestern. So, um, yeah, I literally that just caught my eye right now. So that's nothing I've looked into, nothing I've confirmed. But if that is the case, that'd be enough for me to stay off of Northwestern just because, um, yeah, that could be tough to prep for.
Yeah, this is a game I do kind of think I missed my window on Northwestern. Again, public money is pushing this line, or not public money, sharp money is pushing this line in Northwestern's favor. So this is a game I'm thinking there's a lot of boosts out there for parlay boosts, and I don't love parlays, but if I get a boost and get a couple teams, Northwestern is a team I'm thinking of sprinkling a plus 10.5 on a teaser, putting that into a little parlay, getting a boost there. So that's probably where I'll go with that Northwestern game. Because again, I do think I'm a little too late back in Northwestern at that plus 4.5. But it is a game I'm interested in Northwestern and probably will tease them up to that 10.5 number in a little probably 3-team or 4-team teaser. So that's kind of where I'm going to go with Northwestern. Don't quite know where I'm going to tease it yet, but I will have some action on the Wildcats. Is there any other noon game? I do have something on 12:45. Is there any other noon game you want to hit on here?
Next one up for me is the 12:45 game, so
Okay.
I'm good to touch on that one.
And again, if you guys want us to talk about Texas Ohio State, we are keeping that one for last. But if we get enough comments, we will hit on Texas Ohio State again. Biggest game, that one is at noon. Big noon kickoff. Number one Texas at number one or at number three Ohio State. Again, preseason rankings mean nothing, but fantastic matchup. These two teams are definitely top 10 teams. Probably will be top 10 at the end of the year. But we will touch on that game last. But yeah, let's go to that 12:45 game. And this one, it's a weird line. It's a weird line. Toledo at Kentucky. Toledo is a 9.5 to a 10-point underdog. Mac has been killing it against the spread. Thursday, Friday, and hopefully they continue that streak today because I unfortunately do like Toledo plus the points in this game. Kentucky, I think, is going to be pretty bad. I think they're going to be one of the worst SEC teams. I think their coach is on the hot seat here. I most likely will spring. I don't love it to make it. I probably won't be a full unit play, but I'll probably at least have half a unit on a Toledo spread bet here. How about you?
Yep, I'm right there with you. And really just two things. How many people are going to just see Kentucky minus 10? That's an easy money line parlay leg. You can. It's not minus 1,000 like some of these games are gonna like Michigan's gonna be tonight. I don't even know if they even have a money line price, but yeah, I mean Kentucky's gonna be in every single parlay out there today. And you look at their schedule, Ole Miss on deck, already an SEC game, ranked SEC game at home next week for Kentucky. So probably a look ahead for Kentucky, probably not taking Toledo too seriously. Toledo should be one of the best teams in the MAC this year, if not the best team in the MAC. So, yeah, I would absolutely take the points with Toledo. I don't know. That's my favorite one we've talked about so far, I think. But we'll see. We'll see if I get there.
3 games in, 3 games in agreement, and unfortunately, that means 3 bets for Wyatt. So, but yeah,
All right, I'll disagree on the next one.
Okay, good. Yeah, I like Toledo. I do see a lot of people having Toledo winning the MAC, so maybe they're going to be one of the better MAC schools. But again, MAC's been doing great against the spread. 0 wins, but they've played at least 3 Big Ten teams. I know they played Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan State. Am I missing anyone there? I don't know, but they're 3-0. Central played San Jose State.
Yeah,
but that game was close. I think they may have covered that one. But yeah, again, Mac has been doing great against the spread against these big schools. And again, I know Kentucky's not Big Ten, but they're SEC, which might even be the better conference. So yeah, 10-point spread is the lowest we've seen between a Mac and a Power Four. So yeah, it's fishy. I would definitely, if you like Kentucky, I would definitely probably stay away from that. I think, like you said, minus 375 Kentucky money line. What a beautiful little parlay piece people are thinking. I'd be cautious there. Maybe Toledo pulls the upset. I wouldn't put it past them.
Central won outright as a 13.5 point
Wow.
underdog.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, Mac's on fire, man. Mac's on fire. Maybe
Yeah.
that's going to be the conference that gives us the group of five school in the college football playoff. I could definitely see it. And we got to love the Mac for being two Midwest boys. Anything on before we get to the 3:30 slate? I'm seeing a couple games at 2 and 2 and 3, but nothing that's really popping out to me.
No, nothing really for me either. I guess one, it's nothing I'm gonna bet, but you probably are getting a little bit of value fading Indiana. I think Indiana got to where they were last year in big part to people overlooking them. Obviously, not going to be overlooked entering this season. So I don't know anything about Old Dominion for at least right now in this season. So, I can't tell you with much confidence to go play ODU plus 23.5 or maybe get that 24 by the half point. But I can't imagine there's any value on Indiana.
Yeah, I would agree there. Unfortunately, that one won't even pop up on my book here with ODU being a Virginia team. But yeah, I mean, I'm in for fading Indiana. Sign me up. But yeah, not a bet that I'm gonna have, but I do agree with that side on Old Dominion. And then moving on to the 3:30 slate. Again, a pretty good 3:30. Let's just start with the big one here. Alabama, Florida State. We did give out our Power Four picks, top 5 matchups. This was one of them, and I have become to kind of love this game. Bama's number 8. They are at Florida State. Bama is it looks like they're 14 plus 14 right now on DraftKings. I knew you were on Florida State in our preview. I was on Bama. Are you still on Florida State?
I'm still on Florida State. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'll say, for the full in-depth preview, go check that video out that we do have posted right now. But, yeah, I don't know. I guess the internal issue I'm having with myself is I lost on Florida State last year to Boston College. Like, do I really want to now play Florida State week 1 against Alabama? I expect Florida State to be better, but you can expect a lot, and I expected Florida State to be good last year, and they weren't. So I don't know. I still like Florida State. I'm still seeing the 13.5 most places, and that line is just said it. Central Michigan wins outright as a 13.5 dog. It's just such a enticing number to take the favorite. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still debating. I'm watching with my Alabama friends too, so I don't necessarily want to be the guy who's secretly rooting against them, but we'll see.
Yeah, and people see that number 8, Alabama. People see they can get them under 2 touchdowns. People see that Florida State was dog water last year. Yeah, I have flipped. To Florida State as well. I'll probably be throwing in a half unit. It's probably not a full unit play for me. But I'll probably dabble Florida State. I don't want to tease this game because I could easily see Alabama running away with it. So I don't think this is a teasable Florida State bet. But yeah, I'll probably sprinkle Florida State. I'll get them at the plus 14 if you can find that out there. But it is a game that I will have money on. And I have flipped again from my prediction on Friday's Power Four pick episode that we recorded on Thursday. I have flipped my opinion on that game to Florida State. A couple other 3:30 games that I just want to give out a little tidbit. They're not great matchups, but they do have an interesting stat, and that is Marshall at number 5 Georgia and Nevada at number 2 Penn State. The stat is an FBS school against an FBS school when the spread is 37 plus points. They are 19-2 against the spread since 2013. So when in doubt, I guess take the big favorite. Georgia's minus 38 and a half. Penn State is now minus 42 and a half. Wow, that was at 45 and a half at one point. I don't know if I'm going to get there on the bet, but that is an interesting stat. 19-2 against the spread for 37 plus point favorites against another FBS school. But there's just too many good games on to watch and bet that I probably won't be dabbling in a 5-6 touchdown favorite there.
Yeah, I've also heard that stat this week, which yeah, it's definitely enticing, but it just feels like one of those stats that I missed the ball on.
Yep.
You know, if I bet, who is it, Georgia and
Penn State.
Penn State,
Yeah.
like they're both going to go win by 35 points, and yeah, I don't know. It just feels like maybe I missed the ball. I will say though, just really quick for anyone watching, I just went and kind of verified on your Twitter, but you're like 13-4, 13-5 going back to week 0, looks like, in college football. So clearly seeing the board well. I am 1-0. I've taken one bet, but 100%. So, you know, good start to college football for both of us, but especially you. So anyone listening out there, you know, we do bet this shit and we so far win.
Don't gas me up too much. I already have too much, too many bets I'm contemplating. But yeah, probably won't be dabbling in those. It always seems like when I take a ridiculous stat like that, I'm always it always just loses at a 4% lose rate. According to the stat, I'm always find myself in that 4%. So I probably won't be touching those. But again, I just had to point out a nice little sexy 19-2 against a spread stat for Penn State on the spread and Georgia on the spread. I believe those are the only two games that qualify. Again, they do have to be FBS schools. So I know like yesterday's, or there's a couple other like Missouri was playing whatever, Kansas is playing Wagner. Those are FCS schools. So those don't count. Illinois did cover, but it was an FCS school. So it has to be an FBS school like Nevada is and like Marshall is. Yeah, I'm not going to mess around with those. Besides, go ahead.
Just quick on those games. It doesn't really necessarily fit that system, but I would almost look for first half more than I'd look Georgia first half, maybe Penn State full game, because Penn State will run up that score. You know, they never take their foot off the gas, it seems. And I think Penn State, knowing that 1 and 3 are playing, depending on how many points they put up today, they could be sitting in the driver's seat come week 2 of college football. So I think Penn State could run it up. I mean, the spread's just so damn high, though, 43 and a half.
Yeah.
But Georgia, I would almost look first half for Georgia. Just get an early beat down, 31-0, and then, you know, maybe coast after that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. And Penn State always seems to cover. I feel like Franklin always knows what the line is, and that's how it feels at the end of the games. He's always barely covering the spread by a late field goal or a late touchdown where they don't need it, but they do it anyways. And I don't know if he knows the spread or if he's just in that mentality, like you said, foot on the pedal until the game's over. But yeah, any other 3:30, 4, 5, 6 games you want to talk about until we get to 7 and 7:30? I got nothing, but if you want to touch on something, let me know.
Well, again, maybe just a lean here, but a 4 o'clock game that entices me is Oregon and Montana State, because every casual is just gonna play Oregon, seventh ranked team at home, FCS Montana State. But you know, Montana State is really good, so obviously there's a talent mismatch between the two. You know, it's you know, weaker conference against obviously a power conference, but 26.5, I think Montana State has a ton to play for to kind of put themselves more on the national map. If you're not a, you know, huge college football fan like we are, you probably don't have any clue about Montana State's history. So, yeah, I feel like Montana State could probably cover that big number.
I do like that. Again, not a great game, but it is a little interesting line there. And I believe week 1 last year, Penn State squeaked by. I think it was by was it? I think they beat Boise State by 3. And their week one. I think they played Idaho or Idaho State, and they won by like 10, and they were 40 something
Oregon.
point. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I think
Yeah, I think
there
you're
was
right.
they squeaked by the first 2 weeks. I know Boise State was good, but I think it was Idaho or Idaho State. They won by 10, and yeah, I think they were like 30 or 40 point favorites in that game. So yeah, I don't hate that at all. Montana State, like you said, they do run the table in the FCS. I believe they've been, I think they've won the national championship in the, at least the last 5 years. But they're always in there with the North Dakota States, the um, South Dakota, South. I don't know, but yeah, they're
Yeah.
good in the FCS. They're a good program. So yeah, I do like that. It's a fishy line, especially when you see a number 7 against for Oregon. But unless you have anything else, let's jump into the the prime time slate, the 7 to 7:30s. We'll start. I know the big game is LSU and Clemson, but let's start with New Mexico and my boys in blue and Michigan Wolverines. I will be having money on this game, and I know I'm going to lose it. I suck at betting Michigan, probably because I take their spread, and they're just a terrible against the spread team. But Michigan is a 34.5 point favorite against New Mexico. Obviously, big news. Bryce Underwood, the number 1 overall recruit, 18 years old, and a week, 2 weeks, the youngest quarterback to start in maybe history in football. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know I'm going to be taking Michigan spread. I'm thinking a Michigan team total on the over 41.5 or 42.5. I'll probably take the 41.5, round it down. But I am nervous about this game because Michigan is definitely going to be public. They're a pretty public team, especially with Bryce Underwood. Everyone's super excited to see how he does. I think they're going to start off super slow. And like I said, even when Michigan won the national championship in 2023, they were winning these week 1, week 2 games by 10 to 17 points. They beat, I just looked at it. They threw like 4 picks against like Bowling Green and won by 10. They beat Fresno State, or that was last year, but they squeak by these games and they never cover. But I'll find a way to lose multiple bets in that game. Do you have any? You probably don't, but do you have any read on if Michigan's gonna? They're not gonna come out swinging. I mean, they're so freaking young. But do you have any read on that game? Maybe I'm gonna take a New Mexico team total on the under. Maybe I take full game over. I don't know. I'm gonna lose money. I'm just if you have a read that will make me lose less money, I'm open to hear it here.
Believe it or not, I have a strong lean on this game.
Wow.
And I like the
Yep.
under 49.5. And I think I'm seeing it hovering right around that 34.5, 35 point spread. So the scores that I have floating in my head are like 38-0 Michigan, 38-3 Michigan, or like a 38-7 Michigan. Either way, yeah, I think you're safe probably on that New Mexico team total under. I'm not sure what that's at. If they're 34.5, it's probably
Six
14.
6.5, unfortunately.
6.5.
Yep. Like minus 155 on the over.
My God. Uh,
Which is
yeah,
just it's a kick in the nuts line there from Vegas.
I actually like the under a lot. I don't think they're going to score much at all. Obviously, the line will tell you that. I don't think Michigan is necessarily going to pull out a bag of tricks to run up the score late, especially with their young quarterback. I don't think they're going to start out. I think they're going to give him a very vanilla, short passes, handoffs, just to get him up to game speed for his first game. Yeah, I might play it. I like the under.
Yeah, and I lose these Michigan or these opponents team total unders all the time. I think it was Fresno State. It was 30-3. Fresno State scored with like 17 seconds last year. The over under was 6.5 or 7.5, and obviously the 10 points from Fresno lost me last year. But I mean, Michigan's defense, without a question, I think again I'm super biased, probably as biased as it gets, but I love Michigan's defense. I think it's one of the best in the country, if not the best. I know that's a bold statement, but they return pretty much everyone. Uh, I'll the problem with the unders is I just hope Michigan scores 50 points, but
Right.
and that's probably why I lose all my Michigan bets. But yeah, I really can't argue the under at all. I mean, Michigan is probably gonna. I'm yeah, 38-0, 38-3, 42-3. You know, it's going to be something like that. I can't really see Michigan getting well over 7 touchdowns or 6 touchdowns over that 42 mark. And new quarterback, super young, first college game. I know it doesn't mean anything because it's New Mexico. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to talk about this game too much because I think I'm one of the only people that really care about it. But I just don't know if they want to just give him a bunch of reps because they play Oklahoma next week, or if they want to just keep it super vanilla, keep his confidence up. I don't know what kind of thought process they're doing. I would send him out to the Wolves. I would just let him freaking air it out, get some confidence in Oklahoma that way. But I could definitely see him having a poor game, throwing some picks, and then having zero confidence in the Oklahoma. So I could see the two different coaching philosophies there. I hope they just let him just air it out, do whatever he wants. But they could just keep it super vanilla and keep his confidence up for Oklahoma. But again, we'll get off that game. I think I'm the only one who cares. But
Well,
it will be
quick
yeah.
comment. Yeah, I forgot they have Oklahoma on deck, and yeah, that I'm playing the under. I like the under. Yeah, I think especially if they're up, 24-0 at halftime, they're not going to put anything on film for Oklahoma to plan for Bryce Underwood. So yeah, I think maybe even a live second half under could be worth the play as well. And then last comment I would just make about the 6.5 team total. That bet sucks because it could be 56-0, New Mexico ball with 3 minutes left, and you're still sweating that out. And that sounds like not a way I want to spend my late Saturday night of week 1 college football.
It's just not fun at all. I mean, a touchdown and you lose. I mean, they could score a touchdown opening drive. Yeah. You're never out of the water with that bet. So I could definitely see Michigan shut them out, though, 100%. But like you said, they could score with 17 seconds left and you're screwed. We do have a comment from Ben here. We'll jump to that. I don't have this game on my DraftKings because Virginia team, but James Madison against Weber State. Thoughts on that game? I don't even know what the line is because I can't see it. But do you know?
Let me find it. James Madison. Ben, if you could give me a time.
Let me just look it up on ESPN.
James, found it. 6 p.m. Eastern. JMU minus 26.5. I'd be lying if I could tell you anything about Weber State except that Dame Lillard played there.
Yep. That's the only reason I know it's pronounced Weber and not Weber.
I mean, just wow. Who knows? I mean, there's probably not much money on that, so this probably doesn't mean much, but 66% of the public bet on Weber State, and the line's gone against them 5 points from 21.5 to 26.5. JMU has Louisville on deck, though, which, I think that's a fairly big game for them, but I'd lean JMU, I guess, to blow them out, but
yeah,
couldn't tell you a single player on JMU. Didn't even know Weber State had a football team.
Yeah, I like the line movement though in favor of JMU. So I guess JMU is going to be the bet, but yeah, I can't even bet it. But yeah, there we go. Thank you for the comment, Ben. Hopefully we're not too laggy on your screen. We probably are because my computer is ass. Yeah, let's get into that big top 10 matchup, 7:30. We have number 9 LSU at number 4 Clemson. I'm still going with my gut here, man. I'm taking Clemson. I got to trust my gut. And I think Clemson's the better team, the better coach, the better in the trenches on both sides of the ball. I got to go Clemson. I've seen some money coming in on LSU. I think it's might be sharp. I don't know. This one, I might just get square, but I just think Clemson's the all-around better team. Like I said, I do think they have a very strong possibility of going undefeated. So I'm going to take Clemson. They're -4. I know there's two different boosts that I'm seeing on DraftKings and FanDuel, 50% boost on that game. So if I am going to use a boost, I'll probably just use it on a Clemson moneyline bet. But yeah, I love Clemson just because I think they're the better team. I don't love it from a betting aspect, but I'm probably going to rock with Clemson. How about you?
Yeah, you just took the words completely out of my mouth. With all the boosts available for this game, that's exactly how I would do it. If I play, I'm probably just going to take Clemson money line. You can probably boost it to like -120, 125, somewhere in there. So yeah, that's honestly, I want to play it so bad, but we talked about it in our Power Four picks. I'm just so gun shy to go against LSU because I've played on them week one each of the last 3 or 4 years, and I've lost every single time. So it just feels like if I flip now, they're destined to win that game. Um, so yeah, that's really my only hesitation. If that wasn't the case, I would already have money on Clemson.
Yeah, I've gone down this rabbit hole of these FanDuel winning margins, and I know Clemson straight up on DraftKings is -192, but I know like on FanDuel you can take Clemson to win by 1 to 13 points. I do think this game's going to be within. It's probably going to be a 3 to 4 point margin of winning margin here. And I'm probably gonna. I have two boosts, like I said, a DraftKings boost and a FanDuel boost. I'll probably take Clemson moneyline on my DraftKings, and I'll probably take Clemson on that winning between 1 to 13 points over there on FanDuel. That should be a nice plus. I know the Ohio State Texas game is the plus 190 for both teams to win by 1 to 13. You're probably going to get a little lesser number for Clemson because they are a 4 point favorite as opposed to a pick 'em in Texas Ohio State. But that's probably where I'm going to go because I do think it's going to be within a 10 point game. You can get Clemson to win between 1 to 13 points. Obviously, 2 touchdowns, you lose the bet. But that's probably how I'm going to attack that game. A Clemson money line and then a Clemson winning margin. Again, I think I'm the only person dumb enough to be falling for those winning margin bets on FanDuel, but I am 1-0. I am 1-0 on them. So they really suck me in. The marketers over there at FanDuel are doing a really good job at sucking me into that bet. But that's probably how I'm going to attack Clemson LSU.
Yeah, I don't hate it. You were doing win margins. Was there another sport you were doing that on?
I think I was doing that in basketball.
Okay, that's what I thought. I
Yeah,
thought
you
it
could
worked
do
pretty
like,
well.
yeah, if the spread was close, you could take, for example, the spread was like 1 or 2, you could take either, like they offered either team to win by 5 or less or something like that. So you get a 10 point window right between the spread. That's
Yep.
kind of how I was going with that with the college basketball. I wish you could take the either team. You still can. You just have to take two different bets. That's kind of how. Again, we haven't talked about Texas Ohio State. We're saving that one for last, but that's kind of how. I mean, there's no way that game's going to be over 13 points. So if you wanted to take Texas to win by 1 to 13 and Ohio State to win by 1 to 13, both bets are plus 190. If that game is within 2 touchdowns, you're guaranteed. If you put $10 on, you're guaranteed $9 in profit.
Right.
If that's so that's another way. But again, we haven't talked about that game yet. I have nothing else until 9:30. Do you have anything on here?
No, not really. Yeah, I mean, the quick math on that is it's basically you're laying -110
Yeah.
on either team to win by 1 to 13. So yeah, I think that's honestly kind of a pretty good way to look at that game. But yeah, I'm good to move on to the 9:30.
Texas or Ben does have a comment on Texas Tech and Pine Bluff. Loves the spread for Arkansas Pine Bluff and Texas Tech. 52.5 points spread. I am down to fade Texas Tech. I think they're going to be an oversaturated team early, especially with how much transfers they got. But yeah, not a game I'm looking to bet. 52.5 point spread. For Texas Tech Pine Bluff is probably not a super enticing bet for me, but I'm down to fade Texas Tech at all costs. But Texas Tech probably wins that game. It's probably like 62-10, and Arkansas Pine Bluff covers by the hook. But yeah, not a bet I'm looking at, but I do like the fade Texas Tech philosophy. Yeah, I got nothing. And again, there's a lot of games on here. If there's other games you guys want us to hit on, let us know. But I do have a game circled here, just based off of money. And again, guys that I do follow are all on this team. and that is Georgia Southern at Fresno State. Georgia Southern is a 1.5 point favorite on the road. Everyone's on Georgia Southern that I trust. I'm seeing money on Georgia Southern. That is a potential late game money line that it would take on Georgia Southern there. Again, probably not a game you have circled there, but do you have anything on that one, Ethan?
It actually is because, yeah, one of the guys, actually my favorite guy to take advice from for college football, his best bet of the week is Georgia State. So,
Boom.
yeah, right there with you.
Georgia Southern.
Georgia Southern, sorry, Georgia Southern. Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying if I told you I knew anything about Georgia Southern or Fresno State, so I won't elaborate. But every time that guy talks, it piques my attention. So for him to say that's his favorite game today, well, of the entire week one slate, including yesterday, Thursday, tomorrow, Monday, yeah, Georgia Southern probably the side. We'll see. I might get there.
I love it. I just put a check mark down there. I don't take too much persuasion these days. That could potentially be another teaser bet that I could tease with that Northwestern game. Again, know nothing about this one, so I'm not super in love teasing points on teams I don't know anything about. But yeah, if people are that confident, and like I said, I follow a bunch of guys that are all on Georgia Southern. Money's on Georgia Southern, so your guys on Georgia Southern. Maybe it's the play. Ben says, Ethan, what are the odds of us hitting 1.1K subs before kickoff?
Dude, I was gonna mention that. We gained 11 subs yesterday.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if I don't know what video did it. But yeah, gained.
I saw Ben's short of Jerry Jones, which was hilarious. Got a lot of traction as well.
That was hilarious. Yes. Am I circumcised? Yeah, I don't know, but I kind of feel like we're gonna hit it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. If you guys are watching, make sure you do sub over on our YouTube. That is our main channel. And we really appreciate it. Every sub and every like and every comment helps us, and share helps us out. And it continues doing this because me and Ethan and Ben all love doing this, and everyone involved in Better and Green. So we really appreciate you guys. And please, if you have the time, give us a sub. We really appreciate it. But yeah, we have a lot of late games that I'm just super giddy for. I'm probably going to be absolutely worn out from the full slate, but we have 3 phenomenal games from 10:30 to 11 Eastern time. So let's get into these ones. We have Cal and Oregon State. We have Utah and UCLA, and then we have that's not the one I wanted to talk about. Hawaii and Arizona is a game that I circled there. I'm not quite sure why. But yeah, I'm gonna be having some money on these late night games. Let's do it. Starting at that 10:30, Cal and Oregon State, 2 programs that probably won't have a football team in the next 5 years. But where are you leaning Cal, Oregon State if you do have a lean? I know it's tough because, again, 2 teams that used to be, well, Oregon State was never good. Cal used to be a well-known football team back with Rodgers. They had Marshawn Lynch. They had did Goff go to Cal? Goff. Where did that? Oh, he went to UCLA. Rosen went to UCLA, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Cal, historic program, but I saw something on Twitter that they're losing $5 million a year on their football team, so they're thinking about canning it. Oregon State's not even in a conference, so it's not too much for them to can. You know, they're not getting any money from their conference because they're not in one. But do you have a lean at all?
I have a gut play. Gut play tells me Cal, but that's about all I got for that.
Yeah, I'm seeing split views. I'm seeing some guys on Cal that I trust. I'm seeing some money on Oregon State. I might be betting it depending how my early slate goes. That's going to be a game I'm not going to bet until late. I'm trying to get all my bets in before noon, and that's a game I'm going to hold off on. But I would lean. Damn it. I would lean Oregon State, but not in love with that one at all. I'm seeing people on the under as well. But yeah, I don't know why I brought that one up, but the bigger game I'm thinking of, Utah at UCLA. I am super high on Utah this year. They are my dark horse to win the Big 12. I think I'm going to dabble with Utah on the spread here. -5.5 at UCLA. I don't know if I got trolled on Twitter or if I read a fake tweet, but is the Tennessee transfer, is he not starting?
I think he is.
Okay. I think I got trolled in saying that he wasn't the starter. But yeah, I'm most likely gonna be taking Utah here. Fading UCLA. I have high hopes for Utah. They finally got rid of Grandpa Cam Rising, so they can finally move on with their football program. He was their savior for about 17 years there, and now he's collecting his Social Security because he's retired from life because he's 45 years old. Um, but I do like Utah. I think Utah is going to be a really good team this year. I could definitely see them making the college football playoff. And like I said, winning the Big 12. So I'm going to just ride. I think UCLA is going to be pretty damn bad. I know there might be some hype with the Tennessee transfer quarterback. I don't even know how to pronounce his last name. I'm in Vilea or something. Um, but yeah, I am super intrigued in Utah.
Yeah, I lean Utah as well. I'm also high on Utah this year. I think getting rid of Rising is, yeah, it's finally like freed this team, I feel like. Um, and then, yeah, UCLA, I think they could take some public money late tonight. I would almost wait to bet Utah because I think, once the dust settles on the early games, people are going to start looking at UCLA and, oh, yeah, Leva comes over from Tennessee. He was great last year. I don't want any money on a kid that thinks so highly of himself that he sits out practice asking for money. And I'm not a fan of him really after his whole offseason thing. So, uh, yeah, it just makes me a little nervous. His head clearly is more about money than it is football. Um, so I would lean Utah. I do think they're going to have a really big year. I agree with you. UCLA probably won't. And I do think people are just going to see that quarterback difference. Rising gone, Lama Leva at UCLA. And I bet they take some late public money.
Yep, I love it. Another game. I don't know why I brought it up. I forget. I'm seeing people that I trust on Arizona. They are home against Hawaii. Hawaii does have one game under their belt, beating Stanford, a Power Four team, if you want to call them that. So potentially taking Arizona tonight at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. They are a 16.5 point favorite. But the more I'm looking at that, the more I'm probably just going to stay away and probably just load up on Utah.
Yeah, small lean on Arizona too. Just, yeah, because I think people are just going to look. Hawaii already with a game under their belt. That means they're going to be better. They got to win against Stanford. If I don't know how public the public is, but some people could look at Stanford and be like, "Oh yeah, Christian McCaffrey and Andrew Luck, and this team's good, right?" No, they're complete dog shit. So, um, yeah, for that reason alone, I would just look for Arizona, but not a game I'll be playing.
Yeah, and let's get into the game of the week. Starting in an hour and a half here, we have number one Texas at number three Ohio State. In my opinion, the toughest game in recent memory to predict. Honestly, I've said this way too many times. I don't want to keep repeating myself, but my best advice: flip a damn coin and have that one, whatever heads is, have heads being the home team, have tails being Texas, and flip it. And there you go. That's my advice for Texas Ohio State. I wish I could get you a better lean. I do think the sharp play, but like I said, I think we may have missed our number. So I have a different avenue that I'm going to bet this. But I do think the play is going to be the full game under. That would be my best lean. I do think that's the sharpest play on the board between Texas and Ohio State. But I do have a different way that I am going to bet that. But I'll send it to you. Can you help me out at all between Texas and Ohio State? At all?
Yeah, gave out Texas on our preview show. That's still my lean, but right there with you. I like the full game under in this game. And yeah, public is obviously just going to look Arch Manning 1 versus 3. It's going to be a complete shootout. I doubt it. Saying obviously the freshman quarterback. I think I'm almost viewing this as a national championship game where you don't want to be the first team that makes the mistake. So you come out very vanilla, especially Ohio State. I think they're going to kind of do what I talked about with Michigan. Just, let Sayin kind of get into a groove. Don't let him throw a 30-yard bomb on the first drive, let it get picked off, and now his head's in a spiral for the rest of the game. So I think it's going to be vanilla offense for Ohio State. I think people are just assume Arch is going to be a gunslinger, which he might be, but you're still going against a really good defense with Ohio State, really good Texas defense. I think defense is going to be the strongest side of the ball for both these teams, at least today. And yeah, I think, like you said, it's probably the sharpest play on the board is to take the under. I might take that. I prefer Michigan's under as opposed to this one, but yeah, I think we could almost see not quite as low. I think there was a Clemson, Georgia, maybe 3-4 years ago, week one. I think that final was like 9-3 or 9-6 or something crazy like that. I don't think it's going to be that low scoring, but I could easily see like 24-17 or 21-17, something like that.
Yeah, I completely agree with the full game under. I think I'm going to take a first half under. I'm seeing 22 and a half. I'm going to try to search around and see if I can get a 23 and a half. Like you said, I think they're going to start off super slow, super conservative. Both defenses are phenomenal. Probably the two of the top five best defenses in the country. Two very inexperienced quarterbacks. I really wish you made a really good point a couple episodes back. I really wish Arch's last name was Williams instead of Manning because it just public loves that. But again, inexperience there, two fantastic defenses. First game of the season, a lot of jitters, a lot of mistakes. Like the first half under, if that does soar under, like I said, I'm going to try to find a 23 and a half because a 10 to 13 halftime score scares me for that 22 and a half on DraftKings. But if that game soars under for the first half, I will be looking for a live over. I think that game's going to start heating up, especially in the fourth quarter. I think we're maybe going to get some bigger plays, maybe some more confidence. I do think that game's going to amp up in the second half. So I'm looking first half under as my favorite bet. And then if that game soars under, if it's a 7-3 at half, I will be taking a live over to try to just hope for some theatrics at the end of the game. In regards to who's winning, I'm back on Texas. I'm going to take Texas, and I'm going to get dumb. And I know this game. There's not a doubt in my mind that this game uh, doesn't stay within 13 points. This is going to be a 3 to a 4 to a 7 point win. It's really tough to predict who, but this game's going to be within in my opinion, a one score game, at least under two touchdown game. So I'm going to go back and get absolutely swindled by FanDuel, and I'm going to take Texas to win by 1-13. It's plus 190 when I checked a couple hours ago on FanDuel, and I think that's going to be my play. If you were smart, you would take both sides because you're guaranteeing yourself profit. Like I said, I think it's going to be a really close game. You would guarantee yourself, if you bet $10 both sides, you'd guarantee yourself 9. Yeah, I'm going to go with Texas, though. They're going to be my team. I like the mentality of the rematch. They lost to Ohio State in the college football playoff. I can't stand Ryan Day at Ohio State. I obviously, as a Michigan fan, just absolutely hate Ohio State. He just popped on College Game Day with the most dyed hair I've ever seen in my life. Talk about the biggest joke of a coach. They got Patricia at D coordinator, who I hope nothing but the worst for. They have a new offensive coordinator. Just a lot of moving parts for Ohio State. And again, two very inexperienced quarterbacks on both sides against two stellar defenses on both sides. So I'm going to go Texas. I'm going to take them 1-13. I'm not going to get smart and take both sides. I'm just going to take Texas 1-13. I'm going to take a first half under. If that game soars under in the first, I will be taking a live over.
Yeah, I like where your head's at. And I'm glad you brought up the coordinators because losing Chip Kelly as an OC is not a small loss by any means. He's one of the best offensive minds in college football. Can't do it in the NFL, but when it comes to college football, great offensive mind. So, yeah, that probably does hurt Ohio State. So I'm with you. I still lean Texas. I don't think I can play Texas, but first half under, full game under would be the two best bets that I'd have in this one.
Yeah, and Ohio State, losing Trayvon Henderson. I think they lost their other running back as well.
Judkins.
Yeah, Judkins. They also have, we can't forget Jeremiah Smith, who I do think is the best player in college football. But again, inexperienced quarterback. So it's really nice to throw it to a wide receiver that's going to catch it 90% of 50-50 balls. But it's also nice when you have a run game you can rely on. If you're starting forcing balls, even if it is the best player in the country, I definitely could see some problems there. So that's just more emphasis on unders. Now Texas also has a bunch of offensive line that they lost, as well as Ohio State. So we're going to see some inexperienced guys, I believe, on offense on both teams. And then again, stellar defenses. So full game under. I'm going to take first half under. I don't hate the full game under. I'm going to try to get a second half over. If I can get a, if it comes down to the 30s, I'm probably going to pounce on that. But yeah, super excited for college football. Before we wrap up here, you want to give your three best predictions or bets for college football Saturday?
Yeah, I think my favorite play is going to be that Michigan, New Mexico full game under. Um, Clemson money line with the boost, and then let's do screw it. We'll do the under in that Texas Ohio State.
I love it. I love it. I am going to do Clemson money line. I will do Toledo plus 10.5. And then I'll throw in a Texas by 1-13. I think Texas wins that game by 3 to 4 points, 1 to 4 points, but I'll get little more free there and take the 1-13 for Texas. But do you have anything you want to add on before we sign off for week 1 of college football?
Just quick promotion outside of college football, but yeah, like we mentioned, we're I think 28 subs away from 1100, trying to get there before Thursday night's NFL start. So consider subscribing if you haven't already. We will have our NFL show up before kickoff, so stay tuned for that. We have futures episodes out now if you want to check that out. And then just kind of across the other sports, we do have our week 1 episode for college football. So if you haven't checked that out, that's more in depth of the 5 top games, including Sunday's games. So check that out if you haven't already. And then futures episodes as well for college football. Aaron, as a Premier League article out, he hit his first bet, Chelsea to win and over 1.5 goals. That was a 2-0 finish for Chelsea. So that hit. Check that out. I'll have an auto racing video out today, which there's 3 races tomorrow. I know people don't really give a damn about IndyCar, but 11-3 on the year betting that. So it's been really nice year for that. And then MLB still going on off of a Daily Dinger sweep yesterday, all at plus money. So still got a lot going on at Better and Green, but mostly just consider subscribing if you haven't done so already.
Yeah, great point. And Ben and Bobby are killing it over there in the MMA, UFC. So we cover it all here at Better and Green. We will be starting next week with our weekly NFL show, giving you guys the breakdowns of every single game. We'll try to keep that relatively quick, but try to give you three opinions on every game. So make sure you do subscribe over here at Better and Green. We do it all. We try to give you guys what you want. And again, a subscribe, a like, a comment, a share goes a very long ways. But enjoy it, guys. We waited 8 months for this. We are back. College football. Go blue. Michigan State freaking blew my freaking cover last night. I can't say go green. Go Texas. Enjoy the day, and we'll see you guys next episode. Maybe Monday.
Michigan State ahead of Michigan in the Big Ten rankings. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, technically 0-0, but in conference wins. But yes, they're record wise, they're no 0-1 against the spread. That's all that matters these days. But we appreciate you guys. Good luck on all your games today and all your bets, and we will see you in the next episode. Peace, guys.